One of the viewers on the channel, Lynceus Glaciermaw, has sent me some pixel art for feedback and review. Now with this one, we've got a part dragon character in an idle animation. We're gonna go really deep into this one, talking about a lot of different design theories. It's a whole lot of fun, so buckle up, it's pixel time. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Robinson of Robinson Pixels. I like to break all my stuff into stuff. So we're gonna start out with stuff number one, structure. And the first step in structure in this case is gonna be the character's silhouette. So let's pull that up. Now a character's silhouette is important to be able to tell who and what they are at a really quick glance. Now right off the cuff with this one, the silhouette is just a little bit busy. Well, let's go ahead and see what this character looks like without that shadow on top. They look pretty good. Lynceus Glaciermaw actually told me that he's just now starting to learn pixel art, and this is incredible for just starting out. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is pull up my version of this character. I think at a glance, it's a little bit easier to tell, oh, okay, so we've got a character with wings here and a tail. And this version is also a lot smaller. Lynceus Glaciermaw had mentioned that the goal is to eventually maybe make a video game in the style of Mega Man X, so I thought it would make sense to have this character kind of at that same height. The larger your character is, the more difficult it's gonna be to animate not only the character, but also the world around them. Now I'm gonna compare it to the actual artwork that he sent me of this character, so we can get an idea of what this character is really based on. There we go. This is a really cool design, and I like it a lot. Along the armor here, we've got all these different little sections and gadgets and gizmos, and it's very complex, which works really well for drawn armor like this. But I will say, it's difficult to get that to come through. Now I'm gonna take the shadow off, and it's gonna look completely different. Now, keep in mind that a lot of this is gonna be subjective. I do want to explain all of the reasons that I made the changes that I made. All right. I did actually work from the original sprite, but we got a real like Ship of Theseus situation here where I don't know if any pixels are the same as before. There's a few radical changes that you'll notice right off the bat. If you look at the sprites of Samus from Metroid, they're not as complex as her actual artwork. So I cut stuff in order to just make the sprite readable at a glance. The color scheme, of course, in mine is a lot different from the original. In the original, it was a little warmer. I went for a little bit cooler because this suit is called Cryo Drake. This character has ice powers. The biggest style change that I think that I did is in regard to the wings. I made them much smaller. In gameplay, you wouldn't want wings that are so large that it gets confusing to the player as to what they can and cannot touch. Now, of course, in the original face too, this looks a lot more like a dragon, I will say. But if we compare that to the original art here, this looks a little bit less like a dragon and more like, well, a dragon helmet, which is what it is. Now let's go ahead and pull up the original animation itself. The character, of course, is kind of bobbing up and down. He's got this little shiny thing on his eye there, glowing crystal, all that good stuff. So what I'm gonna do is break down the different elements of the animation and kind of work through them from easiest to hardest to show you guys the different decisions that I made. We're gonna start that out with stuff number two, the head. As the character is moving, his head is going up and down. I will say though, as the character goes down, the head goes a little bit slower. The character hits the bottom, then the head continues to go down. The character starts to move back up, and then the head moves back up. So for me, it feels like the head is just a little bit too independent of the body. I think it might work a little bit better if we kind of reduce that amount of motion. Let me pull that up. I did build out all of mine in separate layers for the animation. I do, of course, recommend that when you've got really complex pieces like this with a lot of moving parts. As the body moves down, yes, the head moves down. It kind of stays there, just that 1 pixel. Body starts to go up, and the head goes up 1 pixel as well. So let's watch how that goes. It's a lot less motion on the head for this character in this version, and a slightly more realistic. As the easiest part, let's go ahead and move into stuff number 3, the wings. There's a little bit of movement on the wings, and again, a lot of this could be personal preference. I am not particularly a huge fan of the way that the wings kind of move inward, but in my version of this sprite, I just have the wings go up and down with the back. I changed absolutely nothing else about them. And again, I think this is just for the purpose of making it look a little bit smoother. Let's get into the more difficult stuff in stuff number 4, the chest. In the original animation, There's a lot going on, but the one thing that doesn't move at all is the character's torso. Yes, it goes up and down, but there is no motion at all right in here. I don't think you need a lot, but I do think something is a little bit more lively than nothing in this case. So with the character right here, we've got him kind of standing straight up. Not only does it move down right here, but I also add in a couple of darker pixels here, you see, where it goes up and then out a little bit, as if the stomach is expanding a little bit while the character is just kind of breathing. It'll stay out like that until the character goes back up, and there we have it. Then it's in a little bit more. So put that all together, makes it look a little bit more like the character has some level of motion in that stomach. Let's start getting into the really fun stuff in stuff number 5, arms. In the original, of course, we've got 2 different arms doing 2 different motions. You can see this arm is just kind of swinging back and forth. This one is going up and down as it kind of moves that magic crystal item around. I don't know that the arm swinging back and forth kind of gives the level of strength that you really want this character to be showing. So in mine, I made it very simple. As the character is breathing, the body goes down a little bit. The arm is 1 step behind because it makes it a little more fluid. Now, when the character goes back up, I did not do that. I had it go straight with it. So let's just show those together. And see, I didn't even do any additional frames for it or different angles. It's literally just moving up and down. The other arm, though, was a lot of fun. In the original, we've got the arm just kind of moving up and down. Let's pop over to my version. I did go ahead and provide the implication of fingers right here. And as the character is breathing, we've got the hand doing the same sort of a motion. This one part right here, you see I've got the kind of the forearm armor. That part does bend down when the character opens his palm out. And then we've just got 1 frame here for him to do this number, right? And then his fist kind of relaxes the fingers. So when we put all of that together, there we go. See, it's just a very simple animation. Now, of course, the whole reason that this character is moving their arms around is going to be addressed here in stuff number 6, the crystal. Let's watch what's happening here. Of course, it's moving up and down, but there's a lot going on with the sort of power within this thing. As it goes through each step, 2 things happen. Let's watch each one as they go through. You see, we've got these little kind of, I don't know, surges in power that kind of pop out of it. So you go from 1, then 2, then 3, and then it kind of scatters in this kind of weird little pattern. And then we reverse that process and it goes back within it. I think this will be a little bit stronger if it's more kind of pulsating it out and not back in. So let me show you that. We've got this blue pixel on the corner that moves forward with a white pixel following, that then becomes that white pixel on the end, and then it's gone. And that creates more of a flash effect. And the other thing that we've got going on is there's kind of light passing through the crystal. In the original, it starts in this corner, goes through the center. Now it kind of disappears while it's in the middle, so I do want to address that. Then it goes through the opposite side and it's back to standard. So the only thing that I really changed in that regard, well, for one, it's reversed just because I was flipping the sprite so many times. That's the way that it ended up. But it starts in that corner, it goes into the middle. I lit up the entire thing, and while it's in that center is when I initiated that sort of a flash sequence. So it's like light passing through in the middle, strong flash, light going out. I think that all helps it to look a little bit more fluid. Now in the original, it's kind of floating up above this character's hand right here, but I wanted to make sure that it was very clear that the character was in charge of how it's going. Because at the moment, the hand goes down, it starts to go towards it, and then right here, you see between frames 5 and 6, the character's arm is down, but the crystal starts to go ahead and go up before the character has made any motion with the hand. That's the biggest thing that we want to address. I don't want it to move upward until the character has kind of like commanded it to. With the gem at the very peak of its crest here, you see it starts to fall, going through this whole animation. As it gets close to the character's hand right here, he opens his palm up, and then he makes this motion, and as he does that, that's the first time that it goes up. We get a big jump to make it look like it goes fast, and then a slow fall through the remainder. So let's watch all that together. And now we can see, yes, this character is in charge of this. It is some source of power. One little bonus on this part too, remember this character has that little shiny effect kind of popping out of his eyeball there, which is pretty cool. The only thing that I wanted to change was to make sure that that stays in sync with the crystal. So as the crystal starts to shine, that's when we get the sparkle. Right here when it's in the epicenter creating this little light, and then it starts to go out. Now you can't even hardly tell in an individual frame what's happening, but if we watch it in motion, you can see, so it kind of bursts out at the same time as the light of the crystal, and I think that helps it to look a lot more uniform here. Now for the remainder of the animation, in the original you can see a couple of things are happening. The character is moving up and down on the legs. I don't do any leg motion in my version of this just because we have so many moving parts. I don't think it's really necessary. But we are going to address stuff number 7, the tail. Now you can see in this original version, the character's tail isn't really doing a lot except for right there along the end. I'm gonna animate the tail a little bit more than that and give it some more fluidity. Now, if you saw my video a few weeks ago about animating mermaid hair, I'm using the exact same principle here. Is as if Avatar: The Last Airbender Aang is shooting a big puff of air under the tail and the tail is reacting to it. So right here you can see, imagine there's an air ball beneath the tail and it's kind of moving forward, and that's what causes the tip of the tail to kind of flap upward. Now, I don't have the full animation going super consistently. Like it's not passing, like flapping through like it's in the wind or anything. I've got it moving at a slightly inconsistent rate because I wanted it to look a little more natural. So if we put all of that together, you can see, okay, so it's like he's kind of whipping his tail a little bit during the whole animation. And speaking of the whole animation, we're done. Let's actually put this thing together. Character standing and breathing and holding a thing and stuff. Well, I'm singing at you. I always love going through and doing these different pixel art feedback videos. I think they're a lot of fun, and I know a lot of you guys really enjoy it and find it helpful. So, if you want to keep watching those, subscribe, please. But the most recent one of these that I did actually took some very cute and cuddly characters, and I did my best to try and make them cuter and cuddlier. So if you want to check that one out, it is right over here, and follow along for more pixel practice. One of the viewers on the channel, Lincius Glaciermaw, is why am I doing this? There's a lot involved in this one, so let's not keep this intro dragging. Sorry.